Hey guys, George here, and if you're listening to this episode, you are aware that it is a greatest hits episode. We will be taking a trip down memory lane to the faraway land of March of 2020 when we break down WWE Smackdown. Here comes the pain with none other than Bronson. We've never done this before in 3 years of doing the podcast, but it is the holiday time. John and I decided to take some time away, clear our heads, come into the new year with a fresh mind, well rested, ready to go. I hope you enjoy this trip down memory lane for SmackDown. Here comes the pain, and hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Johnny, roll the clip. No. No, cut, stop playing. John, hit the button. Roll the intro. No, I'm done talking. You could just cut all this out. I don't know why. Happy holidays, guys.
You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
This week on the Game Marks podcast, we are joined by one half of Bear Country, Bear Bronson. We play the PS2 classic, WWE Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain, and break down all there is to know about one of the most renowned wrestling games out there. Grab your Jimmy Johns and reinforce your ring because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now.
And now, the Game Marks!
Happy 20th birthday to the PlayStation 2, and welcome to the Game Marks podcast. My name is George Feis.
And I'm Johnny Clash, and this week we are playing WWE Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain, with my good friend over here, Bear Bronson.
Hey guys.
As always, we love to hear from you guys, so please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and make sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you choose to listen, and join in the conversation on social media at GameMarksPod. Johnny.
George?
How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. And
Mr. Bear Bronson, how are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for coming and hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me again, the best guest you guys have ever had.
I mean, there's a reason.
Yeah, we won't tell Liam Davis.
Oh, that's how it was.
He didn't bring popcorn. That was the rule.
He didn't bring popcorn. So last week, big week.
We
talked to Justin Leeper. If you didn't listen to that yet, please go listen to it because it is one of the greatest things I was a part of it, and re-listening, I was like,
yeah,
this is cool.
Just hearing him talk about his experience and just like the people that he's gotten to interact with over the course of his career was
name dropping like crazy,
but like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like it was name dropping, knowing that he made a difference in childhood.
It's like, my best friend Austin Aries from growing up. It's like, oh, okay. I just brought him in to do the motion capture for SmackDown vs. Raw.
Kicked his labret out of his mouth. No big deal.
So I'm gonna represent here the fans that may have not listened to that episode and say, who are you talking about here?
So Justin Leeper, he pretty much wrote SmackDown vs. Raw's Road to WrestleMania mode on 9, 10, and 11. And he was like the director of motion capture. He just did it was motion capture for Death Stranding?
He did motion capture for
the Norman Reedus game, Death
Stranding. And then he was also Hulk, Captain America, and several other characters in the newest Marvel Ultimate Alliance title.
What?
Yeah. And he was also in Gwar.
I never heard of that, but... What?
You don't know Gwar?
Gwar?
You don't know the band Gwar?
The band Gwar? I'm going to Google it.
No.
All right. Pause right now if you don't know who Gwar is and look up Gwar.
So they wear stuff like this, and they just spit blood on the crowd.
It looks like the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah. So like if you go see them, you have to wear white because you want the blood on you. He's the one responsible for starting the blood.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't know.
No, I don't.
Who they are.
He's wearing a Gojira, whatever.
Gojira? What are we gonna go? Gojira?
He's wearing a Gojira sweatshirt.
Gojira?
He doesn't know Gwar. All right. Also, our last contest ended last week. Frank of the Myers won the gaming headset. But if you missed out, we have another contest coming up, and I think we should start it, how about right now?
Yeah, I'm in.
You like that, George?
Yeah, what do you
So
think?
all you have to do is go on Apple Podcast, or if you're old like me and still call it iTunes, go on iTunes. Just leave us a 5-star review. Screenshot it, send it to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, and you will be eligible to win a limited edition. I don't know if it's actually limited edition.
Yeah, we'll say it's limited edition. It's a contest, so we have limited supply,
Yeah.
so it's limited edition.
It is a WWE Cody Rhodes autographed 8x10. It's a beautiful piece of artwork, and you can add it to your collection by just leaving us a review.
Now, what do you say we talk about some gaming news for this week?
Let's go. A TV series based on the Last of Us franchise is in the works at HBO. This series will feature Craig Mazin, the creator of the Chernobyl series, as a writer and executive producer, and Neil Druckmann, the writer and creative director for The Last of Us, who's also working on The Last of Us Part 2, will be serving as a writer and executive producer on the show. The Hollywood Reporter first shared news on HBO's The Last of Us series that's now in the works. Joining Mazin and Druckmann are Carolyn Strauss and Evan Wells, who will both serve as executive producers on the project. The Last of Us series is being co-produced with Sony Pictures Television and will be the first TV series from PlayStation Productions. It looks like a new AAA Harry Potter game may be announced very soon. According to a new job listing, Avalanche Software, a subsidiary of Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, is working on a AAA title that will soon be announced. The listing itself makes no mention of Harry Potter, nor does it even make a subtle hint at the franchise. However, as you may know, multiple reports and rumors have claimed that the studio's next game is a Harry Potter game. There's been rumors of a AAA Harry Potter game in development at Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment for a while. In fact, back in 2018, footage from a Harry Potter game leaked, sending the internet into a hype coma. Since then, we haven't heard or seen anything from the project. At the time, it was said to be that Rocksteady Studios, the makers of the Batman Arkham series, will be developing this game. As we stated a few weeks ago, the new Star Wars game, Star Wars Project Maverick, has leaked. Since then, more details about what is presumably a PS5 and Xbox Series X game have surfaced. As you may know, the leak came courtesy of the PlayStation Store in Europe, which reveals that the listing was for a beta. In other words, not only did a beta listing leak the game, but it looks like EA is planning on releasing a beta for the title, which ties to the next reveal. There's multiplayer. So for all you Star Wars nerds out there, like us, get ready. And that's all the gaming news we have today. Check back next week.
All right. Well, that was gaming news. And now it is time for the question of the week. All right. So the question of the week is where we ask each other a question, and then we like to propose the question to all of you listening. And this week, it is
I know the question. What is your favorite color Triple H trunks?
Ooh. Okay, go around the room real quick.
This is it?
No, it's not.
All right.
This is Bronson's question to the two of us.
Mine. I know people aren't a fan of the match, and that's fine. And we're not talking about that.
Is it the half shorts?
No,
above the
not
knee?
his
diaper?
groin injury, not his groin injury. Under Armour under the trunks. No. Goldberg Survivor Series, not that. Mine is the one time I think it's the only time he's ever worn these, and it's against Scott Steiner. Excuse me. Oh yeah,
There's that Burger King.
yeah, that's that Burger King. Scott Steiner, red shiny trunks.
Literally what I was about to say.
Yeah.
The red.
Oh, it's so good.
Purple is a close second.
Yeah. If you ask Beef, his is blue trunks with the one-time blue boots. Against, I think it's against Kevin Nash Hell in the Cell.
If not, I'm going long black tights with the silver inside.
I was gonna say that with but when it's the DX and he's got the green and the H's are green on the outside.
We were just talking about this in the car.
All right, anyway.
So what's the real question?
Honorable mention, we'll say, for the return outfit with the leather and the denim, and he's jacked when he comes back from.
Two return?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's no that is like the best outfit ever.
And it never came back.
He's like, I skipped the invasion.
Yeah.
Anyway, last week we asked each other and Justin Leeper, just simply top 3 favorite tag teams of all time, and it turned out to be a lot harder than
Yeah.
It should have been for
It
most
was-
people.
it
So we're going to turn it to you, a tag team specialist.
Oh yeah.
Just
sure.
throw out your top 3 tag teams.
Any era, any
That's so hard.
any promotion.
It's a
top
simple
3.
question, but it's pretty hard.
Oh, it's really hard.
It's loaded.
Yeah, 'cause, like, oh man, of all time.
See, I would imagine this is probably harder for both of you because you're tag team wrestlers.
Yeah, well, like, because it's like
Currently,
we're asking my favorite, not like who I study.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. That's
So,
why I
like-
switched mine.
I mean, I love LOD because they just are just awesome. Damn, I'm trying to think. Probably the Shield, and
Like all 3 of them?
yeah,
Okay.
I feel like later I'm gonna be like, F-.
I mean, that's what happened. We asked the question.
Well, who was
we
you guys?
fin-
Who are you guys?
You want to go?
I said Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Outsiders.
I did.
Skilled, yeah.
I did Edge and Christian, Outsiders, Mega Powers.
Well, let me read some of the listeners. Maybe
They'll
it'll...
jog your memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Def JC, in no order, but he put it in an order. New Age Outlaws, Dudley's LOD, with an honorable mentions to Beer Money, which is a pretty damn good one.
That's it.
And Hawkins
Sorry,
and
that's a
Ryder.
Damn look.
And Hawkins and Ryder, so you know where they found our podcast.
Yeah.
Jamie Patterson, this is the hardest one so far, he says, but the Hart Foundation, the Young Bucks, and the Brothers of Destruction.
Young Bucks is a good choice. Like,
That was-
honestly,
Yeah.
like as far as like tandem tag teams that like look the same and like stuff like that. Like, I mean, I love. I mean,
They work
also,
any
like,
style, that's what I live with.
Yeah.
You know what a good dream match is? Young Bucks versus Los Guerreros.
Ooh, I never thought of that.
That would be,
Anyone versus Los
Yeah, I was
Guerreros.
saying-
that would really like, that would be
Imagine. All right, we got Casper Stevens with Dudley's, Hardys, and the Rock and Sock Connection. That was pretty much.
I said that
Yeah, you
last
said that
week.
last
Yep.
week. And then we had good friend. Oh, Will McDonough. I don't know if he was trolling or not, but ready for this? Enzo and Cass, the New Rockers, and the American Males.
I think that list is soft.
that is quite. I'll give him. I mean, Enzo and Cass. I actually used to really like them.
Yeah.
Watching them, but yeah. As far as that list goes, I don't know. I forgot Steiner Brothers.
There you go. All right, so how about we jump to this week's question?
All right. So this week, like we said earlier, it is John's turn to ask the question, and take it away, man.
All right, so I want to ask you guys, what is the favorite game you had growing up that everyone else hated?
I think an easier way to answer is what games I loved that no one knew about. For me, it's easier to do that.
Sure, not the question, but sure.
It is not. Okay, well, no, yeah, that is
Sure,
true.
I'll take it.
I don't know. What games did I like that everyone hated? Hated? I don't really know.
I'll say right away, TNA Impact.
Clash
I
loves Dixie.
really loved that game.
A lot of people hated that game.
Yeah, a lot of people hated that game, but like it's so fluid, and at its time, the graphics actually looked awesome.
They were sick. They were the best
played
graphics.
Yeah,
I never played it.
like dude, you could just run towards
We're
the
gonna.
ropes and springboard off them like whenever you want. Like
We're
it's just
never
so
going to play
good.
that game.
AJ can backflip and just like
Do anything.
yeah.
Is that the one that Ethan Page played on Twitch?
Yes.
Okay. That game looked...
It's very, very arcadey.
It is very arcade.
I was
Yeah.
saying,
It's made by Midway.
It looked amazing, but it also looked ridiculous and like it wasn't wrestling.
There was bad qualities about it.
Yeah.
Like
Doing an X Division match.
I love that.
No, but
Ultimate
just,
X match.
Ultimate
Yeah.
X, that's what it was. And they just kept
it's awesome.
climbing, and they were climbing, and then someone would knock them off, and then someone else would go up again. And it was like a never-ending cycle.
Well, the best
for
were
like
multi-man
a
ones.
half hour.
This is what I'm saying. A lot of people hated this game. I spent hours on this.
I'm
With an honorable mention to WrestleMania 21. Don't tell anyone.
Wow, really? You like that game?
Not that I liked it. I had it, so I played it. It was updated. You know, like compared to what I had, it was an updated version.
Okay. See, what's funny too is I have more games that I hate that everyone loves. You know, so like I can't think of games that I love that everyone hates.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time.
that's a
with this
hard one. That's hard. Like, I'm trying to.
I
think of
only
a game
bring the
that I-
hard-hitting questions.
Well, so
I'm
I'm
thinking
thinking
that I
like
like that everyone's like, ugh, I hate that game.
I played Katamari Damacy, and I'm probably sure like you guys don't even know what that is.
No, well, see, that's an easier way to
Yeah.
answer. So, like for me, like my favorite games of all time growing up were the Jack and Daxter series and, and the Sly Cooper series.
Oh yeah, those
to
are
me,
great.
whenever I just mention that, it's even in my Twitter bio. It's like I'm searching for other people in the world that have played that game.
If you've played that game, reach out to Bear Bronson.
Please, no, it's not even a joke. Please. All right, I'm leaving now. See you guys later.
That was it. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more inclined to pick games that I feel like I know that other people didn't play. Like there was a game for N64 called BioCorps, which the whole point of it was like your job is to like save the world from destruction, but like your little robots. It's like this weird little like world saving transformery type of game, but like I think I knew like 3 people ever that owned it.
Remember Pikmin?
Yeah, Pikmin.
Never played it, but one of the first GameCube games.
I only know it because of Super Smash Brothers. It's the only reason I know it is.
That was a game that I hated that everyone loved.
Oh, don't let Bryce hear you.
There was actually one
God.
vacation where I brought my Wii with me to like Florida or something with my parents, and you know, like you're a teenager, like I don't want to hang out with you, so I played Animal Crossings the entire time.
Oh god!
And this day, I still don't know the point of the game. That was the only time I played it, like that week.
I either just pre-ordered that or Harvest Moon for my wife. One of them is coming out this month.
Speaks for itself. Yeah.
Whatever new one, she was like, "I want that one," so I just like stopped home with it and pre-ordered it for her.
All right, so you guys don't have like a definitive answer on that?
I like I said, I think I'm more inclined to go with games that like I knew that I played that.
So do it.
I said Katamari.
The more I think,
I said Biohazard.
Throughout us recording this podcast, I'm probably going to come up with something that like
just jump in when you do.
Yeah, I probably will.
All right, so with that, what do you say we hit the deep dive of WWE Smackdown? Here comes the pain. Hey, George. You see this light here that says game over that I point to at the end of every single episode, like Ronda Rousey pointing to that WrestleMania sign?
I do.
Do you know where I got it?
Why don't you tell me?
I got it from Zavvi. That's us.zavvi.com, Z-A-V-V-I, and they literally have everything. I have spent hours on this website looking up Mandalorian, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, like everything you could imagine. There's Legos, Power Rangers. You could pre-order the new Marvel Legends. It's an insane website that has literally everything pop culture. There's even Batman shoes on here.
I mean, I know for me, a little like adult Zen garden project that I like to do is like the smaller Lego sets, and Zavvi has a lot of those Lego sets on there and getting kind of itchy. So if you like all things pop culture, like John said, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, Nintendo, they're even getting into the wrestling game now.
Oh, yeah.
Zavvi is the place for you.
That's right. Use code GameMarks, simply just GameMarks, at checkout, and you can get 10% off.
I'm going to redo my wardrobe.
What's up, Marks? This is Will is Ballin, aka your resident Fire Pro Mark, and you are listening to the Game Marks podcast with George Feis and Johnny Clash. Johnny, I get that Fire Pro might be a little too complex for you to get your thick head around, so maybe just stick to WCW Mayhem and leave Fire Pro for the big boys? Thank God for George.
All right, so Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain, released October 27th of 2003.
This is like so long ago.
I know. This is the follow-up to Shut Your Mouth that was released in October of 2002. Just Bring It in 2001. SmackDown 2 in the year 2000. And SmackDown 1, which we played.
Yep.
Also in the year 2000.
Which we weirdly said in the episode that they came out in March and November of the same year, which doesn't happen ever.
No.
8 months apart. So starting with Just Bring It to, that's kind of when they started doing the yearly. That's so weird. They moved from November to October, and even to this day, we get like the end of October release of the games.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I feel like this is pretty standard. You expect this. This was developed by Ukes. It was published by THQ. I mean, this is one of those games that just is a staple for, I mean, this was Bronson's game. Like we talked about having this game on.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
was
this
just
was
like,
anticipated.
I gotta be on. I gotta come on for this.
Oh
game.
yeah, I haven't even played this game since before we were playing it. When we were playing before, I haven't touched it since I think like mid 2000s. Like
Yeah. So once the next one comes out, you kind of forget about them.
Yeah,
I
well-
actually forgot until today that Shut Your Mouth even existed. In my mind, it was like, just bring it, and then Here Comes the Pain.
yeah, well yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like for me, I mix Shut Your Mouth and Just Bring It. Like I can't distinguish.
They were just like updated roster, you know? It wasn't anything
right,
special.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, WrestleMania 19 for GameCube is kind of the game that coincides with this one as of like, release and
Yeah,
It's like the
Similar roster,
quote
yeah.
unquote competition, I guess.
yeah,
so good.
best story mode.
Best story. Revenge
Game I
mode,
haven't
shout
played,
out.
so it's coming up soon, eventually.
All right, what do you say we get into this artwork for Here Comes the Pain?
Oh man, what iconic artwork this is! Like like if you took away Here Comes the Pain, you know exactly what game this is.
Oh yeah, because it's just Brock looking like Brock. Just Brock. It's just Brock.
I've never seen that cover.
That's the
European,
PAL cover, not the NTSC.
Wow,
So that's
Yeah.
like,
and
that's
then
a badass
when
cover.
Yeah.
you should see the greatest hits version of that. It's all the so like it's all chrome, and the stencil of Brock is black, and the logo is black, and the whole thing is just two-tone. It's silver and black. That's it. It's so nasty.
See, like I'm such a mark that even if I had the game already, but I saw that cover in stores, I'd still.
Well, you wouldn't be able to play it on
you could just print
American
it and
system.
slip it in.
PAL games won't work on a US system. So this is one of the few games I'll say, I guess. We've seen some overseas covers for other games, and there's been slight variations. Wrestle War comes to mind
Oh yeah.
with the terms of
Oh,
the big differences, but I mean this is fairly similar. I think I would just say that one is cooler than the other. So the PAL cover has this black background with almost like a silhouette version of Brock Lesnar, and then you have the SmackDown Here Comes the Pain logo, and then the NTSC version is a little more designy, I'll say.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And,
Closer to what we see today,
Yeah.
ish before the 2K series.
and hey, look at that on the NTSC cover. If you look at the
Tori
bottom, female on the cover.
Is that Tori Wilson?
Maybe Sable? No, that's Tori Wilson.
Tori, yeah. A female on the cover. Sorry, Becky Lynch, you
Yeah,
weren't the first.
Groundbreaking. Now, is this... You see this, and this just brings back a million memories. Am I right?
Especially because now on the network they've released the Ruthless Aggression series.
Yeah.
So this just all together. I'm trying to relive like this era. Like
It's my favorite era in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I'm very vocal about that. So like,
I told you the other day, like there's no way I will ever have time to sit back and watch like all the Raws and
Yeah.
SmackDowns from this era. But I at least have to go through like the 2002, 2003 pay-per-views.
This is
I do all the time. It's the best.
this is like this is the thing that's hard for me to like pinpoint. There was a point where I briefly fell off of wrestling, and I for some reason can't pinpoint where it is because I don't know what I don't remember, because that's just what happens as you get older. You forget like stupid little things, or if this was like around the point, because there was stuff throughout the Ruthless Aggression show that they've done so far. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember watching that. I remember watching this too. But then there's like other points where I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Like I don't know. Maybe there's just like the not so important things checked out. But this game jogs a lot of memories. A lot of great memories.
Check out the back of that. The back of the cover. Like, I remember distinctly. Like, look at Ray right there. Like, that has such a like Tony Hawk Underground 2 like vibe
Yes,
to
it does. Yes,
you know?
it does.
Like, it's so weird.
I think it's insane that there's just a picture of, I guess, is that Stacy Keibler ripping off the underwear of someone else, and like my parents bought this game for me.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah,
this?
And then you would play that match, and they would eventually walk in, and you'd be
No,
like,
they weren't home.
"What's happening? What are you playing?" Oh man.
Yeah, so this was actually, I think this was the first game that featured bra and panties matches and the Elimination Chamber, which is the main reason why I wanted this game.
Yeah, oh my god.
Jeez.
I also think this game had the best Hell in the Cell that I've played.
Did they use this cell style for like the next couple of generations? Like, did this style of cell
with the
make
door and
it
everything?
for? Yeah,
Maybe.
because I'm not a fan of how you get out of the cell nowadays.
No,
in
it's
this
horrible.
series, where you have to like
use
do the
those-
OMG style
Yeah,
thing,
that's
like
just
break the
annoying.
cage door. Like, I just like where it's just like you could walk up to the door, you kick it open, like
Kick it open, yeah. Me too. I like that a lot better.
elbow it and then you
I hate
kick
having to break
it.
the
Yeah.
whole wall. But even just the scale of the cage, I feel like is just more authentic and better, and
now.
than like nowadays when like you play a cell match and there's like a mile between the cage wall and the ring.
Yeah, well, because then they have to like make room for you can go get a steel chair or you can take out like a sledgehammer. Like they did too much.
Yeah,
Like-
Yeah, let's scale it back to this. How about we just scale all the games back to Here Comes the Pain?
I would listen. There was rumors like I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even a little longer, that like a remake of Here Comes the Pain was in the works.
See, I heard that only this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
I've only
a
recently-
remaster.
I heard something like that. I want to say maybe a year or two ago, and maybe it was something that like the rumor came out, it started, and then it slowly like faded away, and now it's just starting to come back because they're starting to have the conversation again.
Yeah, maybe. Look at like the Undertaker and Brock on the back of this cover
Contract
signing the contract.
signing?
Like,
Yeah.
Where did you see that? Never. Like this game was just.
Is-
They're like we're going for it.
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
This is, I mean, we've mentioned it before on the podcast that at a certain point they just started to throw a bunch of stuff at the video game and was like, if people love this and they're like, we like that you did this and this was an awesome feature in the game, they kept it.
Right.
And if it was something where eventually, like, you know, the Braun panties match went away and like we didn't have that in the game anymore because they were like, it was cool the first time, but now we're like 7 games in and it's lost the appeal and the gameplay for this.
Wait, hold on. Before that,
All right, so we're
speaking
not-
of the gameplay, I'm going back to where it says T for teen for mature sexual themes, mild language, and violence. Again, my parents bought me this game.
This is the same. What GTA is? Is this Vice City is out around this, or is it just No, this is GTA 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because GTA 3 was 2001.
Okay, so this may be,
This
and
is
they
like Vice City, maybe. When was San Andreas?
no San Andreas is
05?
Yeah, because they follow that structure of like they do like every 3 or 4 years, and now it's like every 7
That's probably
years.
like Vice City.
Yeah, Vice City came out October 2002.
Okay, so yeah, this is Vice City time. But like, did you have Vice City as a kid?
Yeah.
So clearly,
Actually, I had GTA 3 on the computer because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time. And then
and that's way worse than.
the 2-pack came out for Xbox, and I got the 3 and Vice City 2-pack. And Jimmy, if you're listening, I know you still have it.
Have to send the hit squad after him. Now, cool thing about this in terms of gameplay is that there's features that were introduced or key factors in this game that are still utilized today. So there's a revamped grappling system, there's a body damage system, there's submission meters. These are features that are staples in the game series in 2020. Like these, you know, you can focus on a limb, you can isolate an arm or a leg, or you can focus on head damage. Like that's a factor that in 2K20 is something that you can do.
Yeah, before that, there wasn't really like, I mean, I think we look at it differently, like, oh, he wasn't selling the neck, but like, you know, now you like pile drive a guy 3 times and he's actually like holding his neck, but that just adds like the realism to it, and that's what like the body damage meter like brought to this, and
Yeah.
I don't think they could ever get rid of that.
I,
But we need to talk about submissions.
okay.
Every single wrestling game has the worst submission.
Yeah.
Possible.
Especially this one.
But do you want, okay, gun to your head. You have to pick the ring from the current generation or the button mashing from this generation.
Obviously button mashing, but I think the
so
best.
then it's not that bad.
The best.
That's my argument.
Would you rather eat Burger King or would you rather eat shit? I mean,
Well,
I'd rather eat Burger King.
Because think about it this way. If you don't have a struggle, your only other option is the no mercy system, which is if I do enough damage to you, regardless of where I do damage, if I give you my finisher 16 times, and then I put you in
then you deserve to lose.
and then I put you in the crossface, you tap because I put you in the crossface.
You deserve to lose.
But my finisher could be a dragon screw. But if I put you in the crossface, you'll tap because I did damage.
But not if there's a body damage meter.
But I'm saying, in No Mercy, there's no body damage. There's animations that focus on certain areas, but it's not like you do head damage, now your head's weaker.
Yeah, if you're taking 18 dragon screws, rethink your life.
So, but I'm saying, those are your options.
I think the best submission system was Day of
UFC.
Reckoning. No, Day of Reckoning. It was just that ball that bounced back and forth, and it was like a tug of war. So essentially button mashing, but you saw
There was
it.
another game that did that.
I think if they took submissions out of wrestling games completely, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the desperation, like, oh, my finisher's a sharpshooter. Quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of the things you notice when you bought this game is that it's probably the glossiest wrestling game I've ever seen.
Everyone's
As far as,
glistening.
Glistening, like the character models everyone looks wet. Everyone looks like
It's
they were
a lot of
covered in
body oil.
Vaseline.
Was this no, I think it was Raw 2, maybe? The back cover's like, we added sweat. It's like, yeah, that's really selling this one for me.
Yeah,
like, I could get Goldberg's sweat everywhere.
And,
Oh god.
going back to
But our characters still walk like they have a pole up their ass.
Yeah. Well, so this was the other weird thing that they did in this game is that, like, for entrances, everyone walks the same.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that.
there's harsh cuts between spots. So, like, you'll be on the ramp, and then it's not like a loading screen and then you're on the apron. It is a harsh cut, and then you're on the apron, and then a harsh cut, and then you're in the ring.
Okay, but you need to think of this. SmackDown 1, all you had was the guy walking with an entrance video behind them. SmackDown 2, same thing. Just Bring It, I don't remember.
Just give me the bike.
I think
dipping.
Just Bring
That's all
It
I
was
want.
entrance. They come out through the curtain, entrance, and as soon as they hit that ramp to go down, it's done.
Like No Mercy.
Yeah, that was No
Yeah,
Mercy.
So-
yeah.
Well, no. No Mercy had in-ring stuff.
No, it did not.
No, I think No Mercy was just the
No Mercy
video
cut at
line.
the ramp.
Cut at the ramp, yeah.
Showed the video. They came out, cut at the ramp.
That and
was it.
WrestleMania 2000 are like the same.
Revenge had in the ring.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, beggars can't be choosers. But
Yeah.
you can see it's evolving. You know what really bothered me about the entrances here?
What grinds your gears?
Rey Mysterio's entrance, sick, right? He jumps up from the ceiling. Oh my god,
He jumps.
jumps up from the floor. Or
Sting on
who's
the
there
brain.
jumping up? Pyro goes off. Cool. No trap door. He just came up from nothing. Like, give me at least like a little box on the floor to say he didn't just dissolve from the air.
I mean, he's Rey Mysterio.
I will say, coolest gear for Rey Mysterio in a game, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
The gold with the blue. Oh,
Yeah.
great choice.
You don't like the WCW bodysuit?
No, I hate the WCW. Well, I mean, we only played Mayhem so far with him in it, and he's no mask, and he's got his boxers hanging out of jeans.
I had that figure, I think, where he's got the camo pants.
Yeah.
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 And no
Sorry.
mask.
I love Ray.
Now,
One of my favorite things, sorry to cut you off.
No, go
One
ahead.
of my favorite is how easy the exploration is. So, like, that's something I question that, like, I don't understand why that went away in wrestling games. So you saw, like, all you have to do is go up the ramp, go up to that little diamond, and
And
press
then
square.
yeah.
And they're immediately, it's like there's barely any loading times, anything like that. And you could literally go through the backstage area, locker room, parking lot,
could drive the
literally
forklift.
the out front in the like the street. Like you could drive, the forklift, Undertaker's motorcycle. Why did that
WWF
go
New York.
away? And then I think it
WWF
was,
New York.
Yeah. Oh, and why did that go away? Because then that didn't really come back until I remember like either 2K19 or 2K20 was
19
promoting
had it,
They were promoting it hard. Like,
Yeah.
oh, now you could go backstage. It's like, okay, well, why is that just coming back now?
I think
And that
there
was,
was
like one of the greatest things about Here Comes the Pain.
they had to find that balance of like the graphics and the
probably.
additional features.
And 20 still hasn't figured that out.
Well, because what game had create your own finisher?
A bunch of them. I don't remember.
Because that
which one.
was
Yeah.
that was wild. Because
Oh.
I remember it was like for 1 year it was like you can make your own entrance. Then it was like you can make your own taunt. And then it was like you can make your own finisher. And The first year that they did make your own finisher, it was ridiculous.
Oh, I used to do like an outsider's edge position, but then you would flip them into an X Factor.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, one day when I wrestle, this is going to be my finisher.
And then eventually at some point it was like you can start from these spots. This is a transition. Like it got more structured and the moves looked more realistic. But that first year that they did it, it was like you can do a frog splash, but you're going to do a moonsault,
oh my god,
frog splash into 630 into a phoenix splash,
and
like playing online with those people that would just do like 16 stunners in a row and that would be their finisher. Oh my god, so This is where I developed, not this game, but like that era is where I developed my cheat for the last man standing matches.
Oh, I was going to say where you developed your rage quit.
Yes, that too.
Wait, what's your cheat?
So when I used to lose a bunch because people would do that hack pin where you can't break it, it was just like literally they would roll you up and no meter would come up and it would just be 1, 2, 3.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I used to do a rematch, like you could rematch them then. Last man standing match, DQ on. I grabbed the ring bell because the announcers wouldn't be like, oh, why does he have a chair? There's DQ. He grabbed DQ. Grab the ring bell, slide in the ring, they kick me, pick it up, hit me, DQ.
Oh.
Yeah, people are smarter now, though.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably still get away with that.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the grapple system and the improvements that were noticed, I think we all kind of felt, I mean, especially from playing the last SmackDown game that we played was the first SmackDown, that there was a lot more move options per player.
Yeah.
And this is kind of more in line with today's series where there's, different moves assigned to different buttons, and there's 20-something moves assigned per grapple.
This was a good balance.
Wrestler. Yeah, it was nice.
Like, it still felt like the old SmackDown games, but you could do more. Like, it felt like more like wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely some moments that are, over the top. Like, we'll touch on later some ridiculous spots that happened in our Clash of the Feast match.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But I mean, there's some aspects where you're like, okay, this is great, and then there's other aspects where if this was real life, I'd be dead. Like the character would be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this year, I think they might have realized. I mean, not this year. I mean, here comes the pain. They probably realized post-release, okay, I think we took it too far with the physics.
Yeah.
Things are too realistic to where, even if you're just walking past a guy, they acknowledge it or something.
Yeah.
There's no, you can literally cut off, if someone's taunting or something, you can cut off their animation within, seconds.
Yeah. And the ref takes unbelievable bumps in this game. I have never seen bump card doesn't exist for the ref.
Your favorite part, once you hit that ref, you have the slowest counts ever.
Oh man.
Yep.
But another cool thing is it's actually Earl Hebner in the game.
Yeah, that was a very nice feature. And Bronson did a Falls Count Anywhere, No Holds Barred.
I think
hardcore match, and he was going through all the backstage scenes, and there was one point where he loaded into one area, decided he hit the wrong button and wanted to go back into the other area, and when he loaded into I think it was the loading dock, the ref just fell out of the sky. Just took one half step back and just fell 15 feet and was just full face down, pancaked out for at least
sprawled
5 minutes.
So there were actually a few wrestlers that were programmed into the game, but never actually came to fruition
for one reason or another.
For certain reasons. For one, Jeff Hardy. He was he's programmed in the game, but you can't play as him. So his data is there. But then he went to TNA.
Oh,
so they made his textures. Right? They have a model for him, but he's not.
To that, it sounds about right.
So that's one of those situations you make all the assets and the artwork and the model for the character, but you don't program
he was gone.
collision or make a move set, and I mean,
Also,
had Sean O'Hare in the game, and he had the Swanton. So
also Hulk Hogan, Mr. America Hulk Hogan, and 80s Hulk Hogan, and the Ultimate Warrior were all programmed in. Yeah. Hogan and Hardy were removed from the game when they left WWE, and Warrior, there was a little bit of a legal issue between the two. A little bit, that DVD that came out, the Self-Destruction or whatever it was called.
Actually, Hardy actually before, I don't think he debuted in TNA in 2004, but I think it was because he had a little stint with it was early Willow.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
With Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
That's what
he got
I think it
booed
was.
out of the building, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
The other wrestlers that the data is in there, but they're not, is Spike Dudley, Billy Kidman, Billy Gunn, William Regal, Bradshaw, Molly Holly, and 3 Minute Warning.
Wow.
None of them have finished character models, but they're all on the disc.
What? That's so weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why aren't they in the game?
Hey, space, releases, I don't know.
Maybe space, yeah. Wow, that's weird.
Now,
It sounds weird not to have those people in the game.
Now, there were some that were pulled early, like Johnny Stamboli and Nunzio, Hardcore Holly, Al Snow, Bill DeMott, and Scotty 2 Hottie. And Chief Morley was planned to be in the game, but they ended up just going with Val Venus.
so what do you say we run through this? I mean, you want to talk about a stacked roster.
This is probably the best roster of any game ever made.
This is big. How do we want to handle this? Should we read it off? Should we have? How about this? Bronson, start us off. When you get tired, you tag in Clash, and then when Clash gets tired, Clash tags in me.
He always goes last. He's so lazy.
I'll start if you want. I don't care.
No, it's all right.
I'll start. What, just reading off the names?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we have A-Train, Batista, Big Show, Brock Lesnar, which that can be a topic of its own. As far as him being on the cover and it being his debut year is his breakout year. Booker T, Bubba Ray Dudley, Charlie Haas, Chavo Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Christian, Devon Dudley, Clash, you can go.
All right, yeah. That's all that Burger King we had.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Eric Bischoff, Goldberg, Gold Dust, The Hurricane, Jazz, John Cena, Kane, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Lance Storm, Lita, Matt Hardy, ooh, right next to each other, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Rhino, I don't remember scrolling past him.
Oh, hell yeah. You can.
Yeah, I saw Rhino.
Ric
Big
Flair.
Rhino game.
Ric Flair, Rico, Rikishi, Rob Van Dam, The Rock, Rodney Mack, Sable, Scott Steiner. I'll let you take it from here, George.
Sean O'Hare, Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin, Stacy Keibler, Stephanie McMahon, Steve Austin, Steven Richards, Tajiri, Test, Tori Wilson, Triple H, Trish Stratus, Ultimo Dragon, The Undertaker, Val Venus, Victoria, Vince McMahon, and here are your legends for this game. Animal, George the Animal Steel, Hawk, Hillbilly Jim, The Iron Sheik, Jimmy Snuka, Nikolai Volkov, Roddy Piper, Sergeant Slaughter, Ted DiBiase, and Old School Undertaker.
So that was... Where?
Snuka?
I just lost, yeah, so that was Snuka, the shadow.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out who it was. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
looked like
without
Eugene.
Eugene.
It did look like Eugene, to be honest.
And that one was Hawk.
Yeah, with the mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did some digging on just the game and the release and all that, and a lot of stuff was saying that this is the first game that John Cena was in, Batista, Rey Mysterio, the first bra and panties match, but WrestleMania 19 came out a month before this one.
Yeah, that was the first John Cena game because
Yeah.
that's John Cena.
Fuzzy
with,
hat
the
John Cena.
Fuzzy hat, sweatpants John Cena.
Oh, God.
Where you had to actually go in and give him the Death Valley Driver as a finisher.
Yeah.
What do you use, the Overdrive?
No, actually, no. WrestleMania 19, he did have the Death Valley Driver as a finisher,
Oh,
but he held the head with it. Or no, he held the arm with it. He didn't here.
I think he also did the throwback, was it called?
Is that the little spinning power slam thing?
Yeah,
It's the setup to
Blue
his
Thunder
5
Bomb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that used to be his finisher.
Yeah. So Sean O'Hare, what other games has he been in?
I don't think any.
The Game Marks podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, providing precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, is it a game changer.
It's the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. The Performance Package 4.0 comes with the Lawnmower 4.0, body hair trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, below the belt toner and deodorant, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies.
It's definitely holding all my goodies, if you know what I mean. Over 7 million men worldwide trust Manscaped with their grooming needs, and we've got an exclusive offer for all of the Game Marks out there. You can get 20% off your order and free worldwide shipping just by using the code GameMarks at manscaped.com.
Unlock your confidence and always use the right tool for the job with Manscaped. Manscaped.com and use code GameMarks.
Rest in peace.
I don't think any. Yeah,
I wish we
I know.
had.
He's one of your guys.
I don't know. There was something about him when I was a kid that I was.
No,
just
I agree.
This dude is just
Except his
massive
flame
and
tattoos.
mean looking. Like had a hell of a swanton, and the Widowmaker was also cool as shit.
the
Like
vignettes were great.
Yeah.
he just everything about him was just so like he was believable. Like that larger than life, like
just
super
the pairing
believable.
with
character.
Roddy Piper was just weird.
And he was jacked.
Yeah, he was
So
massive.
jacked. Long sleeve shirt, pulled the sleeves like halfway up the wrist. So it was like just
He was Dexter.
veins, just veins everywhere. Crazy.
So I'm not really sure how to tackle this. We got to talk about the season mode, but there's so many different aspects and moving parts to this. Like where do we even start? Do we talk about the storyline? Do we talk about the fact that it's like this big open world backstage where you can interact with a ton of different people? This game had so much to offer.
It set the bar for every game going forward.
I want 2021. Bring this back.
This is
They need to fix the game first.
They had this in 19.
They need to make sure it doesn't break up
See,
on playing.
I
You
played
didn't play 19.
every single one up to 18, and then they had loot boxes in 18, and I was so pissed off that it was like, oh, if you want to have, for argument's sake, if you want to have the last ride, you have to play until you get a mystery chest, and then maybe in that mystery chest, you'll get the last ride.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it was like, I understand from like a business point, it's like incentive for you to keep playing the game, but like 99% of the bread and butter for those story modes is like making your character, setting up the move set. Like those hours that you put into like picking each single little animation and reversal and move, like to lock so much stuff behind an unlockable like mystery chest just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I skipped 19.
No, 19 was pretty good.
Yeah, it's on my list.
It was very similar to like the backstage here, where you just roamed and talked to people, and you could set up like a mini match or.
Yeah, 18 had that too, but it was just incredibly frustrating that, like I said.
Right. But this is the one that led the path for that. So, like he said, you could walk backstage. You have a menu screen, which is pretty much your locker room, or you could go to the GM's room and you could ask for title shots or brand switches.
God.
Like you actually could become a jobber in this game if you don't put like the effort in to progress your story. You will literally sit there until you go say, "Hey, I want to be on Raw. I want to be on SmackDown," and you go up to Eric Bischoff or Stephanie McMahon and request it. Best general managers of any era.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, the story features a 1-year-long season mode. It's full of like just random storylines. You feud with Vince McMahon at one point. Everything you do, I guess similar. I would put it close to like No Mercy. How every decision you make leads to like a different path in the story. You could join the corporation. You could start your own stable against the corporation.
Did this one have Evolution in it?
No.
No, it didn't. Okay.
No, this is
maybe SmackDown versus Raw did.
Yeah, I want to say that because Orton has old school Trunks in here, but they gave him Evolution's music.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was just like a last minute, like,
Probably.
we have to stay up to date with the music for this. But I don't think everything else was Evolution-y. If you don't make a choice in this game, Jim Ross, Eric Bischoff, Jerry Lawler, Vince, Coachman or Stephanie McMahon, they could approach you and like make suggestions for what your character should do, and whether you accept or decline, that also steers the story mode. You could even get to like pay-per-views from there, which eventually leads to WrestleMania, where if you select a superstar, they can imitate Shawn Michaels' WrestleMania 12 entrance.
Oh,
Whoa.
I don't think I knew about that.
I didn't know about that either.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
Very weird, especially if you're not Shawn Michaels.
This game very much was like, I want to say like a real-time strategy mixed with a wrestling game. Like this was very like choose your own adventure kind of feeling.
This is what you
but
wanted.
in a
This is the
Oh,
replayability,
absolutely.
you know?
This.
Oh, this game, it screams replayability.
Oh yeah.
Like once you're done, you're like, okay, what else can I do? I was a heel this whole time. Let me go be the really nice guy. And then eventually you're like, oh, screw this. I'm going to go
Just
hit someone with a chair.
It was innovative. It was creative. It sucked you in. It was perfect. I countless hours.
Now,
Yeah.
did
thrown
either
in
of
this
you
game.
two ever have a corrupt memory card?
I don't think so.
Explain. What do you mean?
Like you put your memory card in and all of a sudden all your files are gone?
No.
Like this game?
Did this happen to you?
No.
Many times.
This game I had to buy multiple times because for some reason, I don't know if it was just I don't know if it was with some of the games or whatever, but for me, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain it would completely freeze.
Huh.
And then once that happened, every time I played the game, it would get to the Brock Lesnar loading screen and stop. And it would never get to
You needed a game doctor.
I wonder if that's
But
something.
then I'd get a new one. I'd be like, okay, I got to get a new one now. And I did. And then later down the line, it would happen again. And I'd be like, wow, what the hell is going on?
That sounds like it's a problem with your system.
At the time, maybe.
Like maybe there was something with the system and like it was like doing something to the disc or
But it was only that game.
interesting.
I actually I got a brand new CD player once, and I got like 3 CDs for Christmas. I remember one was Jimmy Eat World, one was Nirvana's Greatest Hits. I don't remember what the third one was, but there was like a screw poking up from the top of it inside.
Ooh.
So first time you put a disc in and it spins, it just made a ring around it, and the top is like the underneath is where all the data is.
Yeah.
So it screwed up like all my CDs, and I like Walkman. I'm gonna sue you. I sent them an email. Nothing ever happened.
Your G-Shock Walkman?
Yeah,
Oh.
something like that.
Wow.
Jesus.
I had a memory card that was very, very corrupt.
Official or third party?
Probably third party. Probably from Funkoland or GameStop, whatever it was at the time. EB Games.
I was gonna say,
EB games, oh my
picking through my my storage container where I house all these old consoles and old video games. Actually found some cables stashed in an EB Games bag. And
Dude,
I
if
was
I can go to EB Games right now and pick up SmackDown.
They have them in
Here Comes-
Canada.
They do have them in Canada.
EB
Yeah.
Games still exists.
I want to go there and pick up Here Comes the Pain and GTA 3.
ooh.
Oh, I would just have a seizure.
You can get GTA, I think 3. Yeah, Liberty City on your phone. It's only like $10.
On my phone?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew it was
Like-
coming. I knew it was coming.
Oh,
I had I think I had
Chinatown
Vice
Wars
City.
is the greatest.
I wonder if I could. I had it on my iPhone 4. I wonder if I could like download it now
Yeah.
because I purchased it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would work.
Well, I was saying for something.
I just want to get them on my Xbox and never leave my house.
I wanna have maybe we'll do another bonus episode at one point where we have you and Max Caster come on and we will play San Andreas and GTA 3.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
Just
I would.
so what do you say?
Is it time
I think it's time for
a little
let's shake it off.
little R&R?
Relax. Time for a little R&R.
All right. Our favorite Metacritic
Oh,
gives
baby.
this game an 85 out of 100. Now, EGM a 7.5 out of 10, Eurogamer a 9 out of 10, Famitsu a 29 out of 40. That's odd. Why would you go out of 40? Game Informer, 8.5 out of 10. Game Pro, 4 out of 5 stars. GameSpot, 9 out of 10. Damn.
Wow, damn.
Game Spy, 4 out of 5 stars. Game Zone, 9.2 out of 10. IGN, 9.1 out of 10.
Wow.
And OPM, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. You can,
I don't understand.
yeah, you can go away, OPM.
Someone needs to explain to me why you can't just do half or full star.
I think it's probably like an average of a bunch of people.
Or why not half or like full numbers?
Well, here's the thing.
9.1 drives me bonkers.
It does,
Yeah.
and you know what? Like, that's the thing where if you look at IGN, which is, by the way, the only rating, the only website I even pay attention to, like,
Yeah,
I don't pay attention to like Metacritic or anything.
I'm a big comic book now fan lately.
That's pretty cool. I want to look that up. But with IGN this year, they just changed to doing just no decimal points.
It doesn't make sense. Decimal points are just, it's confusing, it's misleading.
But then you're also throwing yourself into a corner where, let's say you're rating games not 8.7, 8.6 or whatever. By this point, IGN's been around for so long that they've rated so many games, and the people that are they pay attention to every single one. They go, oh, how can you rate this game 9.2 when you rated this one 9.1? That one's way better than 9.2. And it's like,
you're splitting hairs at that point.
Dude,
when
no
you get
one
to
is paying
decimals.
attention to it as much as you are. Like, that is insane. So I thought that was a good move. But
I agree with you.
All right.
I think that's a very smart move.
So, Here Comes the Pain received a Platinum Sales Award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 300,000 copies in the UK.
And this is that artwork that I was telling you about
The
for
black
the
background.
for the PAL.
Did 2K20 hit that yet in the
I don't think it's hit that globally.
IGN called the game
Just a
one of the
couple short.
best wrestling games we've ever played, with its ultra improved gameplay mechanics, enhanced visual engine, smarter career mode, and established creator wrestler feature. Ukes and THQ are definitely the track to success. Oh, how the turntables.
Put that on a t-shirt. That's amazing.
Yeah, right? GameSpot says, what the game lacks in innovation, however, is more than made up in sheer playability. That's just...
I mean, it's a wrestling game. You're not really
what do you want?
reinventing the wheel.
You put an elimination chamber.
But they did, though.
I know.
Did. They literally did. But
They literally did.
But I feel like
GameSpot, I hope you're listening.
a lot of times people will look at a wrestling game like a wrestling game is a wrestling game is a wrestling game and not really look at it and appreciate it for what it is. Like, there's just some people who like...
Could you throw people off the cell in other games?
No, but I'm just saying
Or before this one?
Oh, before this one? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so look at what they innovated backstage areas. They innovated, like, the physics is innovative.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Dude,
I
it's
just
so
feel like
weird.
You'll get some people who don't like wrestling games.
Yeah, it's
Like, it would be like, did you ever play
Madden.
like or WoW or anything like that?
Oh, sure, yeah.
But like, was it a game that you like loved and were like super invested in?
No.
If I asked you to give it a rating out of 10, what would you give
Yeah.
it? Like, if you're not a wrestling game fan and it's not something that, like, super invested in, like, maybe it's not gonna rank high. And while the graphics and the gameplay may be super great, you may not, be super interested in every factor of it.
Yeah.
All right, and other than that, the accolades for this game was nominated as the best sports game for the first British Academy Video Game Awards and the 2003 Spike Video Game Awards.
Do they still do those?
Spike doesn't exist. It's Paramount Network.
Or AXS or something.
Yeah, but they
Doesn't
did win
another
Best
company-
Fighting Game in 2003 on
Wow.
the Spike Video Game Awards. if that's worth anything to
I was
anyone.
gonna say, I feel like another.
GTV. Remember that?
No, it's it's Paramount now because I watch Ink Master and Dave Navarro's like, we're here on Paramount Network.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like there was another station that like picked up doing like video game awards and stuff.
No. I mean, because they always got exposed for, like...
I know.
I don't
I know
even
what
want
you're
to get
talking
into
about.
it. I don't even want to get into it
Like, did
now,
like
but
MTV do it for like a year or something
Maybe
like that?
the MTV Video Game Award. That sounds familiar.
I just remember Spike TV doing like GTV. Ugh. And it was just like, there's
First
one
network for
episode
men.
where like,
Oh god.
Remember
there was a Splinter Cell.
You said
episode.
GTV, and I thought you were talking about when they did that in wrestling, when they had that like GTV on Raw.
Oh no!
I was like,
no.
what? They made that a
I think
thing?
it's supposed to be Goldust was supposed to be behind
Yeah.
it,
I think that's what the.
I remember putting that on Twitter and somebody answered it for me.
I think they talked about it on Something to Wrestle With.
Probably. So you want to rip through some fast facts here?
Yeah, and you know what? This week we got 3 fast facts, and there's 3 fine gentlemen sitting in this room right now, including Goldberg on the TV screen.
So who's not fine out of us then?
Don't know.
All right, I'll go. I'll leave. This game marks the final time that The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin would appear in a WWE game as a non-legend.
It is also the first game to depict Kane without his mask, and I was actually gonna mention that before. WrestleMania 19, a few months before this, had the only no mouthpiece.
Yep.
Huh. And we mentioned it before, but it is also known for being the only WWE game to feature Ultimo Dragon, who despite huge popularity in Japan and Mexico, otherwise only appeared in WCW games.
Announce tables, onto the barricades.
He dove onto the barricade.
He dove onto the barricade, which you couldn't go into the crowd, but I actually thought...
Which is a Jeff Hardy thing, and he's not in the game.
And he's not in the game, yeah, so super weird. Lots of utilization of the cage. Until
almost
they
instantaneously
went up
leaving the cage,
yeah,
and going
We
up.
knew it was going towards that anyway. We had Goldberg falling off of the cell via his
Many
taunt.
times.
Via his taunt.
Okay, his taunt starts in the middle of the cell, and you just walk forward enough to just fall right off.
Well, because
Yeah,
the
and you
first
can't
part of the
stop it.
animation is the jump. Because you did,
It's so stupid.
You did the
Wild. So wild. And then Goldberg won with a very clean jackhammer.
Yeah, we haven't seen a clean jackhammer in a while, so I had to bring it back.
Yeah.
which means your winner, and finally coming back, Mr. Johnny Clash.
Play my music. Oh, it feels good to be back, winning. It's been a long streak of losing.
I told you, you had it was coming.
And with that, how about we give our rating of the game? Bronson, George,
Oh, God.
would you play it forever or future endeavor?
I would play it forever. Forever.
I mean, you did buy the disc like 3 times. So yeah.
Probably will a 4th time.
I mean,
Staten Island act, though.
how do you not? It's like almost instantaneous. Play it forever.
Yeah, play it forever.
Yeah.
If you future endeavor this game, like, what is your standard?
Will is ballin' is gonna.
I like Fire Pro Wrestling because I like the 3/4 ring just turned that way where you can't hit the ropes with the left and the right key because it's diagonal.
And the crowd is.
I like
just
limiting my fun.
Oh man.
What are you guys doing next week?
Good question. Georgie, want me to tell him? Or do you want to tell him?
I got it.
Okay.
Next
I'm already
week.
reading it. Ugh.
Next week on the podcast, as Bronson throws up his Burger King, we are playing WWF Betrayal. Oh. For the Game Boy Color.
Stephanie! I'm coming to save you, Stephanie!
Why?
Because we play
Because we
everything.
play every game good at playing. We played some weird softcore porn kind of game. It was weird. I didn't like it.
Look it up. Cutie Suzuki.
It was weird.
Suzuki.
I felt like John was inappropriate pretty much the entire episode. All right, so Bear Bronson.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at official_Bronson and on Twitter at Bear Bronson, capital BC.
Got anything good coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Nah, it all sucks.
What's good?
I will be in Canada.
Going to EB?
Friday. What?
Going to EB?
EB. Oh, EB Games? Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm going to EB Games, picking up Here Comes the Pain in GTA 3. And then, and then I have a company that is all French called LDDC Pro Wrestling.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's us, Bear Country versus TDT, Tabernacle the team. So
Cool.
That
Awesome.
one we've been looking forward to for a really long time, so I'm really excited for that. And I don't know. Oh, MCW. We have
Nice.
Maryland Championship Wrestling on Sunday.
Nice.
I've been there. Good place.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That's-
You made towns?
I made some towns back in 2017.
Well, I gotta say, you killed it again, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. You're always welcome.
As I rip ass.
Well, with that, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks podcast. Please check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store at prowrestlingtees.com/GameMarksPod. It is currently the best way besides listening to support the podcast. And be sure to follow us on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod. Leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to this podcast wherever great podcasts can be found. And hey, do not forget about that signed Cody Rhodes picture for leaving us an Apple Podcast /iTunes/ whatever you want to call it review.
Has to be 5 stars.
Has to be 5 stars.
All right, they say it has to be 5 stars. Thanks for hanging out with us this week, guys. Say goodbye, John.
Game over, Marks.